You ever play Shadow of the Colossus and wonder why? I mean, it doesn't really fit the typical adventure stereotype. It's a somber and peaceful experience. Sure, it has action. You're killing giants. But a majority of the game is spent running to your destination. There aren't any fights or puzzles in between. And that feeling you get while playing, you know the one. It's this strange and confusing mixture of sadness and loneliness and strangely longing. I had it as a kid. I still have it in a lesser kind of way. Of course, if I could snap my fingers and put myself in Wander's shoes, I can't say that I would. But I can't say that I wouldn't. What is it about this rarity amongst games, filled to the brim with this liminal melancholy that makes me beg to be a part of its world, so much so that I'd spend countless hours searching every inch of its desolate map, hoping that there's just one more secret, one more obstacle to overcome. I can't say I live a bad life. I have more than some, and not as much as others. I'm pretty typical in that regard. But I'd be lying if I said it wasn't hard. Fiscal responsibility, heartbreak, and the constant existential fear that my life, no matter how well I try to live it, will have been wasted away in pursuit of things that, in the end, don't matter. Every moment spent trying to achieve goals that people in the future will scoff at. That is, if I'm lucky enough to be an afterthought to any of them. More likely than not, I'm going to sell most of my time away doing something I don't want to do in exchange for money that's losing its value every day. And even after I have it, whatever I do with it will be spoiled by the regret of knowing I can't buy that time back. I think we'd all rather die young, having lived a life of adventure, rather than die old, having nothing to show for it. Climbing a colossus to bring someone you love back from the dead, that's grand. It's legendary. But it's also simple. Set a goal in life, any goal, and it won't be as simple as kill monster plus save girl equals be happy. That's what pulls me towards this game and makes my heart cry. For all the danger in the Forgotten Lands, all the challenges and fear, the path to happiness is clear, even if it never is obtained. I grew up in a place where hurricanes were fairly common. The smell of a storm on the air and the sky turning dark, the wind picking up and chilling me behind the ears. It always felt so peaceful, and I swear I can feel that same wind when I ride across the plains with Agro. Then the storm would hit, and all the adults would get scared, but not little TJ. Not because I was brave. I just couldn't understand the severity of what was happening, the danger I was really in. I guess that hasn't changed. When our limitations are stripped away and we feel like we can take on anything, the confidence is nothing short of addicting. None of us could do anything but hide if a colossi actually crossed our path. Hell, if we heard a dismembered voice from the sky, we'd just panic. And most people on Earth pray for that very thing every day. Most of us can't even ride a horse. We can't scale the side of a mountain. Just running for a long period of time puts us out of commission. We're so limited. But when we play a video game, we catch a tiny wisp of what it's like to be strong, skilled, and capable of going down in legend. But Shadow of the Colossus doesn't make me feel like I can do anything. It makes me feel like I can do what needs to be done, despite the odds being completely stacked against me. Despite my horse being too big, my sword being too small, and my entire journey being a selfish endeavor born out of my inability to let go, I can accomplish what I set out to do. I want to feel that way in real life. I'm not trying to scale the side of a 200-foot monster. I'm just trying to be content. Maybe that's why I'm so in love with the loneliness in the Forgotten Lands. There aren't any expectations. There's me and my single, simple goal, and I've got all the time in the world. The Colossi aren't going anywhere, and Mono isn't getting any deader. If I want to chase around some lizards, well, that's my prerogative. If I want to jump at birds trying to latch onto one because I've convinced myself that they'll take me to some secret area of the map, that's the agenda. Any justification I can muster to not have to leave a world that should, by all accounts, make me miserable. I'm a bit worried that's what death will feel like. A somber peacefulness that, while you're there in the moment, is too alluring to say no to. Maybe that's why we do stay in the Forgotten Lands, long past the point of beating the game. The mission has been accomplished, but that sense of confidence, it's still there. There's a lingering feeling that there has to be more than what we've done. Now that's a scarier thought around death, that you can't let go because you haven't done enough. I'm rambling. Anyway, it's not the only game that gives me this feeling. Nier Automata is a very close second. It's not as ethereal, nor is it as desolate. There's comedic relief too, and there is always something to do. But there is that feeling of something lost. Things forgotten. There's a point in the game where you're at an amusement park, and when you reach the roller coasters, the characters you play have a short little conversation about how strange it is that humans would ride around in the trains for entertainment. Imagine something as universal as fun being lost to time. That's the game's main theme, I think. Loss. But it's that forgottenness that sticks with me when I play. In fact, that may be what defines both games. So much time has passed in the world of Nier that everyday aspects of human existence have become anthropological curiosities, like seeing a Coke bottle 1,000 years in the future and arguing it couldn't be a beverage on the grounds that it's insane to think anyone would drink something with phosphoric acid in it. I don't know if that's the source of the sadness that bleeds through when I play Shadow of the Colossus. Being forgotten to time, or not being worth remembering. Maybe the relief of either. Or maybe it's just a game that I played when I was little, something that had the right elements at the right time. I admit that playing the remake on the PS4 didn't give me the same sense of wonder. People argue about it online. It's the lack of bloom or the absence of fog, that the team took away all the creativity that the original hardware limitations of the PS2 made necessary. I think it's just that we've all gotten older, and that the feeling we had when we first played is now trapped behind a wall of nostalgia, and recapturing it seems to get harder and harder. But I know that feeling, even if I can't describe it. I can't say there's a lot in life that sets that specific mood anymore, that feeling. That strange and confusing mixture of sadness, loneliness, and longing. Shadow of the Colossus gave me a feeling I'm afraid to forget. But in time, be it due to experience, or growth, or understanding of myself and the world around me, I inevitably will.
Hey guys, I know that was a lot different from the other stuff that I did as far as editing goes. I hope it doesn't come off as low effort or anything. I wanted to talk about this weird emotion I was having, and a bunch of editing would have kind of taken away from that. Anyway, let me know what you think about this style, since I really enjoyed the writing process, and the basic editing means I could probably put out a lot more of that while working on my more complex stuff. I love to read comments, so please give me your honest opinions on where we can take the channel. Thank you so much. So long.